Hello, thank you for joining us on this episode of Sports Bets for Free. My name is Scott Jenkins, your host, just a local sports bettor here in Phoenix, Arizona. Hopefully today with our bets, your bets, it's going to be another profitable day for you. College football week 8 Saturday games. We get earlier episode, we put out the Tuesday through Friday games. Now we get into college football Saturday week 8. Obviously there's one monster game on the board, top 5 teams playing. We have one of our, not our biggest play of the weekend, but right up there in that game there. But we've got a lot of games to get through on this Saturday for you. Let's get started. The noon Eastern window. Miami of Florida, Louisville. So Miami, Florida's played, let's be honest, exciting football as they've had to come back against Cal. They had to come back against Virginia Tech. Cam Ward was a Heisman hopeful, and he's probably still in the mix. He's turning the ball over a little bit too alarming a rate, I think, for a national champion type contender. But they keep winning games. They're a 5-point favorite on the road at Louisville, 59.5 total. The way that Miami's been scoring, everybody loves offense, including myself. I mean, if you want to love defense, I guess just watch the Thursday night football for the NFL coming up. Yeah, Louisville at home dog getting 5. No play for us in this one. But as we have a ton of plays going on for the Saturday, if we were going to play this game, we would actually go over the 59.5 is, I think, where we would lean in that particular game there. Louisville's defense has left a little bit to be desired in that one as well. All right, same time frame. Arizona State, Cincinnati. This game in Cincy. Arizona State loses starting quarterback. They're going to backup quarterback Jeff Fromm, transferred from Nebraska. Cincinnati was right around a 2.5-point favorite in this game, now up to 5. I'm going to tell you right now, we didn't care who was starting the quarterback. We've watched Arizona State a bunch. The one game they've lost this season was on the road to Texas Tech. Cincinnati played Tech to within 3 points. The big deal for them is going to be able to run the ball with Scatterboo. Anyway, if he's really successful running the ball, the other team's going to be in trouble. I don't know if Cincinnati's going to allow a bunch of that. Cincinnati is a grind-out type team as well. This might not be your most comfortable cover of the day. I do think Arizona State, though, is going to struggle, and Fromm's good for some turnovers as well. So I would not be surprised Cincinnati gets some short fields and makes stuff work there. So let's give you all the bets we've got in this one. Cincinnati -0.5 in the first quarter, -0.5 first half, -2.5 for the game. At the 5 number, I would still play it. I might eliminate the first quarter play for Cincy and just play half in game, but still would play Cincy in that one. Next game up. Same time window, Nebraska, Indiana. Nebraska coming off the bye. Indiana, by the way, if you haven't paid attention so far this season, folks, they are lighting it up offensively. Now, they can be, they get some bigger plays, so you can't sit there and maybe go a couple 3-and-outs. Next thing you know, they just went 3 straight possessions quickly and scored touchdowns. Nebraska's defense started off the season really strong. Then all of a sudden, once they hit that Illinois game, all of a sudden it seemed to struggle defensively. Raiola also is hitting the freshman woo a little bit. Raiola is going to be a great quarterback. Don't get me wrong. He's going to be an NFL quarterback. He's going to be starting on Sundays. He's a true freshman, folks. He's got the pedigree for it. He's got the arm for it. He's just really, really young. That's all there is to it. Nebraska has something to look forward to there with Raiola at quarterback. No question about it. So Indiana at home, 6.5-point favorite, 51 total. We love Indiana again in this one. We grabbed it at 5.5. It's at 6.5. Still playable here with only that 1-point move. We did play Indiana -1.5 in the first quarter, -3.5 in the first half, and -5.5 for the game. Next game up, Auburn, Missouri. If somebody could explain to me what the hell happens to this Missouri offense. Of course, against UMass, they look terrific. Against Texas A&M, they look like they don't exist. Luther Burden is a top 10 pick for the Tigers. Brady Cook has been very questionable. They don't run the ball as well as they did last year when they were really, really good. Defensively, they've been pretty stout for the most part, except in that A&M game. I don't know what to tell you here. The one thing that kind of rings in my head, we don't have a play, but Missouri's at home, 4.5-point favorite, 51 total. Auburn doesn't score, but Auburn allows the other team to have way too many chances on short fields. So it's kind of hard for us to sit there and go, well, we want to play the under here. Well, if you told me Auburn was going to play a clean game with no turnovers, under would be the way to go. I can see this game like 27-20, something to that effect on there. But Auburn has a tendency. They did it against Oklahoma. They've done it against multiple teams. Cal, you name it. They've turned the ball over at an alarming rate. Therefore, it's hard to play an under with them. But they don't have enough offensive firepower for you to sit there and go, well, let's play the over with Auburn. They don't have that. When we're making sports wagers, a lot of it is confidence, right? Or are we confident on what this team can do on a week in, week out basis? You can't say that about either one of these teams. It's okay to skip a game. We did. If we had any lean in this thing at all, it would be Missouri to cover the 4.5. Offensively, they are better, and Auburn, and they're at home. And they basically have this game rated almost like these two teams are even, and Mizzou just getting the home points. Noon Eastern as well. Army, East Carolina. East Carolina, I believe, comes off I'm sorry. I'm going to apologize. We're going to take that back. We're going to start with Army, and that's where we're probably going to finish with as well. If you guys have not watched Army so far this season, they are rushing the ball for over 360 yards a game. They have been dominant against winning and against the number. They are not even making a sweat on the number so far this year. This line has moved multiple times. So this line did start around 16.5. Then all of a sudden got down to 14.5. Now it's back up to 16 on a lot of books. Army might only throw the ball for 70 yards a game, 80 yards a game, but normally those are big plays. Not only that, they have one of the best running quarterbacks in the country with Army as well. Army could run the damn table. It would not shock me the way this offense is stacked. If they can stay healthy, which is the key for every team, right, is staying healthy, they've got a legit shot at doing some things like that. But we love Army. Army is our best bet of the weekend. Army minus 3.5 first quarter, 7.5 first half, and 14.5 for the game. One more time, Army minus 3.5 first quarter, 7.5 first half, 14.5 for the game. Next game up, Virginia Clemson. Let's give Clemson some props. After getting absolutely destroyed by Georgia, they woke the hell up in a hurry. They've played really, really well. No question about it. Let's give them their due. They have played extremely well. They're a 21-point favorite here against Virginia. They're at home. Klubnik's played well. Defense has played strong. They're scoring points. They're putting the ball in the end zone. They're not kicking a bunch of field goals. That always helps as well, right? We did play Clemson in this one. Let's give you the plays there. Clemson minus 6.5 first quarter, 11.5 in the first half, and 21 for the game. If at 21 and a hook, I lose interest in this thing, I might just play first quarter, first half in this one. But do like Clemson and cover the 3 touchdown number. All right, we're still in that noon window. Wisconsin, Northwestern. Northwestern at home, getting 7.5, 41.5 total. One of those barn-burning Big Ten early morning games, right? Wisconsin's played better as of late. Obviously, they're playing with the backup quarterback, as they lost their starter for the season. Northwestern, God knows what the hell they're doing. They pull off a win against Maryland, where they looked almost unbeatable, and then they've laid eggs all the way around it. No play for us in this particular game here, but 7.5 at home in a game that's going to be tightly scoring. I'm probably going to take the 7. I'd probably lean 7.5 there and take it with Northwestern. Also, noon Eastern, UCLA travels to Rutgers. Rutgers looked like absolute dog doo-doo last week. They've been fortunate. Here's another where they're going to get fortunate. They're getting fortunate by the spot. Rutgers having to travel cross country, play an early morning game. Their time clock's going to be saying 9 a.m. when it's noon Eastern. This is just spot related. This has nothing to do with we like UCLA better. We like Rutgers better as a team. The line has actually moved down to 4, so even better for all of you hopping in now. But Rutgers minus 0.5 first quarter. Rutgers minus 2.5 first half, and minus 4.5 for the game. Next game up, still noon Eastern time frame. This line's moved a little bit as well. UConn hosting Wake Forest at home. If we were betting this thing for the last 10 years, I promise you we would never even considered UConn. They are much better this year. This is I think our second best bet on the board. The line has moved. UConn opened 1.5, now at 2. I understand Wake Forest is more of a brand name than UConn when it comes to football. Not basketball, that's for damn sure. But in football, UConn's not that bad, folks. I'm telling you right now, total of 55.5. I expect them to actually, I think this line might be 10 points off. I think they got a great chance to win this thing by 2 touchdowns. So we'll give you all the bets we've got here for this one. UConn, money line first quarter, money line first half, and -1 for the game. One more time, UConn, money line first quarter, money line first half, and -1 for the game. Next game up, Louisiana, Coastal Carolina. And that's Louisiana, the Lafayette version. Coastal's played okay. Coastal's pretty good at home. They're getting 4.5. I'm kind of surprised at the line here. I thought this would have damn near been pick'em. I don't think Louisiana's a one score bet. They're not a touchdown, but over halfway to a touchdown better, especially on the road here. We like Coastal Carolina in this one to keep things close and possibly get a win. Coastal Carolina +0.5 first quarter, +2.5 first half, and +4 for the game. Even though you can get it, like I said, you can get it at 4.5 now, even better for you. Next game up, we go to the 12:45 Eastern window. Oklahoma at home against South Carolina. Oklahoma slight 1.5 point favorite. I guess they're assuming this score is going to be really, really low because Oklahoma can't win a game probably in the 20s. And where's the total sit? 41.5, of course. Both defenses good. Here's the difference in the defense. South Carolina's pass rush, awesome. Best in the country, more than likely. Oklahoma, very opportunistic, turning the ball over on the defensive side of the ball, which can lead to shorter fields. They're going to need it. Obviously, Oklahoma went up 3-0 and then didn't score again against Texas. They got their tails handed to them. It was disgusting. Their offense could do nothing. I don't want to hear about how Hawkins is better than Jackson Arnold. They're both hot garbage. Now, defensively, both these teams are pretty solid. South Carolina did allow some points to Alabama, but it's Alabama. Alabama's probably going to score against most, or if not everybody. Oklahoma can't score against anybody. No play for us in this one. If we had a lean, it would be under the 41.5. As like I said, both defenses are good. Offenses struggle quite a bit. Next game up, 2 o'clock Eastern time. Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan. We got a battle of the middle school Michigans, right? Eastern Michigan has not played well as of late. Central Michigan's gotten some wins. And games they should have covered, they're coming up slightly short, let's say, on the cover side of things. But they've played pretty damn well. I mean, you can't really fault them for that. And the one thing, I thought this game would be, once again, probably around a pick'em on this one. But Central Michigan getting 3.5 at books. You got to take the points and stuff them in your pocket in this one. So we played Central Michigan here. We'll give you those plays. Central Michigan +0.5 first quarter, +2.5 in the first half, +3.5 for the game. One more time, Central Michigan against Eastern Michigan. Central +0.5 first quarter, 2.5 first half, +3.5 for the game. Next game up, Tulsa Temple. Also 2 o'clock Eastern time. Temple is actually favored here, folks. And we talked about this earlier about confidence in your game, in your wager. Can you be confident laying points with anybody with Temple, even if they were playing UMass? This is a scary part of this one. I'm pretty sure Temple wins this game, right? But I can't lay 3. I can't even play a money line. There's not enough confidence to play a -140 on the money line for him there. No play for us in this one here, but if we had to, we would lay it with Temple. All right, now we get to the 3:30 Eastern window games. We got big ones, and more big games here. Let's start it off with Bama, Tennessee. Bama traveling to Rocky Top. Obviously, I think everybody remembers what game was it 2 years ago when it was like 50 both teams scored in the 50s. We got totally different offenses in this one. 56 total. Bama favored by 3 at Rocky Top. I need to ask a question, and this is for. Feel free to comment in. What the hell happened to the Tennessee offense the last few weeks? They scored 25 against Oklahoma. That was a tough fight game. But before that, they're scoring 60, 70. They're turning the ball over like crazy. That's probably it. A lot of short fields definitely helps that point total, doesn't it? makes it a little bit nuts. Tennessee, like I said, getting 3 at home. I will tell you this. We're not on a side. We love the total, and we love the under. Love this under. If Bama comes out and scores 30, I still think you're okay here because I don't know if Tennessee can muster up 20 points. The way they have looked lately. Bama's defense has struggled. I'm not going to lie. No question about it. They have not played fantastic, mainly in the secondary. But I just see this game being a lot of 3-and-outs, or maybe not 3-and-outs, but a lot of punts on both sides of the ball. Tennessee hasn't scored in the first half of the last 2 games. So Tennessee, Bama, under 13.5 first quarter. Under 27.5 first half. And 56 for the game. If you want to be a little bit more confident in this one, just play first quarter, first half. You don't even mess with the game. The way Tennessee's been playing in the first quarters, yeah, definitely I think got a big winner there. But Tennessee, Bama, under 13.5 first quarter. 27.5 first half. 56 for the game. If you can get 56.5, scoop that one up as well. Next game up, still 3:30 Eastern time window. Notre Dame, Georgia Tech. This line has gone absolutely crazy. This game at Georgia Tech. Notre Dame has come, they've shown up. Riley Leonard's played really well. They're running the ball extremely efficiently as well over the last few weeks. Georgia Tech, obviously the darlings early in the season, beating Florida State. They've come back to earth a little bit. Let's be honest here. I mean, you know, they come back to earth here. Notre Dame trying to make that 12-team playoff. They're probably going to have to run the table to do so, and that the best they can end with is a 5 seed, and I don't think they finished theirs. There's going to be SEC teams and Big Ten teams fighting for that one. But we love Notre Dame here. We got this thing when it opened at 7.5, as we thought the line might go to 10. It's already at 12 in some spots, if not higher. But Notre Dame minus 2.5 first quarter, 5.5 first half, 7.5 for the game is where we got those. I will say this, at 12, I'm not as interested in this game. A lot smaller wager. I necessarily wouldn't flip and play Georgia Tech there, but a lot smaller wager for us on that one there. Next game up, same time frame. Michigan, Illinois. If you want to watch bad offense, feel free to tune in and watch the Michigan Wolverines. Illinois's got some decent. I mean, Illinois gets a hell of a game last week with Purdue, right? How the hell? Purdue hasn't scored 49 points in a month, let alone in one game. But they figured out a way to get a win. Illinois at home, getting 3.5. The better offensive team is no question Illinois. The better defensive team, no question, is Michigan. 44.5 total. So who the heck do you play here? You know, you're getting strength on strength. Our defense against your offense, right? I don't know if Michigan can move the ball a ton. So I don't know if I could lay 3.5 on the road. I mean, they played Washington. Washington I don't think his offense is as good as Illinois, and they got their ass handed to them by Washington. So, no play for us in this particular game as it smells a little fishy because I think Illinois should be favored here. But we would lean Illinois taking the 3.5. Then we're still at that same 3:30 Eastern time frame. Navy and Charlotte. Charlotte's had a couple of big games here as of late. They have not been as dominant as Army, but they have been hella good. They're running the ball all over everybody. You know, defense has played for them extremely well. But Navy's looked good. Line has bounced around a bit, folks. It's been 15.5, 16.5, 17.5, and it seems like there's some pushback, especially when we get to that 17 number on this one. We did play Navy. We like it quite a bit. Navy minus 4.5 in the first quarter, 9.5 first half, 16.5 for the game. One more time. Navy minus 4.5 first quarter, 9.5 first half, 16.5 for the game. Next game up, UAB, South Florida. UAB just went through the Army and Navy gauntlet, and I think they got beat 100-13 or something. They got absolutely torched in that one, those two games. Now they got South Florida. South Florida at home here, 13.5-point favorite. Feel sorry for Hasselback's team at UAB. They just do not have horses to play here. South Florida, we don't have a play in this game. If we did, we would lean slightly towards South Florida there, even though it's not too... Let me put it this way. South Florida is below average. UAB is well below average. 3:30 Eastern time frame, Hawaii, Washington State. Washington State, Wazoo, 19-point home favorite. Hawaii on the road is always a scary proposition as they normally don't play well outside of the Island State. 55.5 total here. No play for us in this one. We would lean Washington State. Next game up, 3:30 Eastern time as well. Old Dominion, Texas State. So Texas State, which had a chance at the college football playoff earlier in the year, unfortunately a couple losses are going to come back to haunt them. That Arizona State game, they could have won that. That would have been a huge win for them. You know, they had to run the table, right? Which is not easy to do, no matter how much dominant you're supposed to be. Offense is solid. Going against Old Dominion here. No play for us in this game either, but we would lean laying the 9.5 with Texas State. Same time frame, 12:30 as well, 3:30 Eastern time. California, and let's be honest, Cal last week impressed me. They kept coming back, got the win on the road. Now they're at home against NC State. NC State, we liked them at the start of the year. Grayson McCall goes down, basically season's down the toilet. Clemson's 10-point favorite here, or not Clemson, California, 10-point favorite at home. They've played well. They should have beat Miami at home. They had game day for the first time ever. We like Cal a lot in this spot. Cal minus 2.5 for the first quarter, minus 5.5 in the first half, and minus 10 for the game. Next game up, Rice and Tulane. If you haven't watched Tulane at all this season, folks, wow. They can put up some points and put them up in a hurry. They did lose the game to Kansas State, but they did cover. They've been a really good covering machine as well, even with these big numbers. Rice comes off a huge upset win last week. They're a 6-point dog and get an outright victory. Now they got to go to New Orleans and play Tulane. Tulane is they're different. They got a program running there, folks. Tulane here, the lines bounced around just a little bit. 21, 22, 22.5, back down to 22. Kind of all over the place a little bit. But we like Tulane here. We got them at 21.5, but we played Tulane minus 6.5 for the first quarter, minus 12.5 first half, and minus 21.5 for the game. Next game up, Houston and Kansas. Kansas 5.5-point home favorite, even though they only have one win on the year. Houston has not played well for almost every game, the whole season except for one game. I can't get behind a team that figures out a way to shoot itself in the foot like Kansas. Kansas should have 4 or 5 wins by now. It's been absolutely just ridiculous. Blowing late leads, interceptions, fumbles, just dumb shit that does not need to happen. So we'll stay away from that game. If we had to lean, it would be KU, though, in that one. We're still in that 3:30 Eastern time frame. Bowling Green, Kent State. Let's be honest here. Bowling Green is a 3-4 touchdown better team at home all day. I think that, being really honest, with the number at 21, it kind of lands right at the number for us. 56 in that one total. Expect Bowling Green to win this one pretty handily here. But slight lean maybe that way, but not loving it. But no play for us in that one. Toledo, Northern Illinois. Can somebody tell me what happened to Toledo last week? Oh my God, the offense just absolutely got shut down. Northern Illinois got the huge win, obviously, earlier in the season against Notre Dame and hasn't done anything since. Northern Illinois, 3-point favorite at home, 43 total. We expect this game to be low scoring. Would not be surprised me if it's 20-17, finishes right at the number and goes under on the game. That would be our play. If we were in it, would be to the under. Also, 3:30 Eastern time is why not? Let's keep stacking them up at that point. Buffalo at home against Western Michigan. So Buffalo played Toledo last week. They shut down Toledo's offense completely, and they put up big points. Western Michigan is not as good as Toledo. And Buffalo's getting 1.5. Can you sign me up? Say, hell yeah, I'll take some more. Buffalo plus 0.5 in the first quarter. Buffalo plus 0.5 first half. And Buffalo plus 1.5 for the game. Next game up. In the time frame that will never end. Ohio, Miami of Ohio. We got an in-state rivalry here for sure. Miami of Ohio has played pretty decently as of late. Ohio, this is going to be one of those in-state rivalry games. We got conference game. People going back and forth at it. Miami of Ohio favored by 3.5. They're the much better team here. I know it's a rivalry game, so we didn't bet this one super heavy, but we do like Miami of Ohio here. Minus 0.5 in the first quarter, 2.5 in the first half, and 3.5 for the game. Next game up, Florida Atlantic, UTSA. All I can say about UTSA this year, it's a shame it's not. Last year's offense was so much fun to watch. This year's definitely been down. FAU, they're kind of like FIU. Okay, they're around. It's not like the days of Lane Kiffin coaching or anything like that. 6-point favorite here for UTSA, 52.5 total. No play for us in this one. We would lean slightly to the over in that one. 4 o'clock Eastern time. We finally get off of that 3:30 Eastern, right? Colorado, Arizona. Travis Hunter's supposed to be back. Colorado kept the game tight. I was pretty impressed. I mean, they hung around against K-State, and K-State's a much better team than they are. If somebody can explain Arizona to me, I understand they caught Utah maybe on the perfect week, but that's been really about it. They have one of the best quarterbacks and wide receivers in the country. Unfortunately, use them about as much as the Arizona Cardinals use Marvin Harrison Jr., which is not enough on that one. Arizona right around 3.5, 4-point favorite all week long. We did grab Colorado in this one. We like them plus the points again. So give us Colorado plus a half first quarter, plus 3.5 in the first half, and plus 4 for the game. Next game up, USC Maryland. Somebody please tell me who the hell USC is. I guess just a home team, as they play well against Penn State. Unbelievably at home. They played. They weren't, they had a horrible first half of Wisconsin, but put up big points the second half to get a cover when they were at home. They're great at home, but they're on the road this week. Maryland comes off the loss to Northwestern, where they got absolutely embarrassed. And USC somehow is a 7-point favorite on the road. They are a better team overall. Not going to deny that. I can't play them, though. I mean, can anybody? USC on the road get laying 7? I don't care how bad the other side is. No play for us in this one. If we had to, we'd probably play Maryland plus the 7. Next game up, Baylor, Texas Tech, also 4 o'clock Eastern window. So Baylor's been a really tough one to read out of the Big 12. No question about that one. Texas Tech at home has been pretty solid. So just going off of home records and away records and the way Baylor could turn over the ball, Tech with laying 7 here. It's a big number, I think, for Tech, but they should be able to get that thing done. No play for us in this one either, but we would play Tech minus the 7 there. All right, still 4 o'clock Eastern window. James Madison, the darlings of college football betting degenerates everywhere, against Georgia Southern. James Madison right around 9.5-point favorite. That line did bounce a little bit. I mean, we saw 9. We've seen 10. On that one, stuck at 9.5 at the moment. James Madison can put up some points. Offensively, defensively, they're opportunistic. They can turn you over as well. We like James Madison in this one. James Madison minus 2.5 for the first quarter, 5.5 in the first half, and 9 for the game. Wyoming, San Jose State. So Wyoming, over the last few years, if they were at home, you just went ahead and played it, whatever it was, whether they're plus the points, minus the points, it didn't matter. They were at home, play it. Now, when they're on the road, you just faded them. The home thing hasn't continued, but the road thing has here. San Jose State, 11.5-point favorite here. We love SJSU in this one. Give us minus 3 in the first quarter, minus 6.5 first half, and minus 11 for the game for San Jose State against Wyoming. 4 o'clock Eastern game as well. New Mexico and Utah State. New Mexico better than New Mexico teams, although New Mexico State got a win, a double overtime win. Congratulations to them. New Mexico's a 2-point favorite heading to Utah State. Not an easy place to play. If you take a look at the total, though, this one should be fun. Total right now at 78. If we had a play in this one, we would lean to the over, but no play for us in this one. Next game up, 4:15 Eastern time, Texas A&M going to Mississippi State. Texas A&M 17-point favorite coming off that huge win against Missouri. They clocked them. That game was at home. A&M's always real tough at home anyway. Mississippi State, they played Georgia tough for a few. And then Georgia kind of relaxed, let them back into it. Mississippi State's one of those weird teams. Offensively, if they get it cooking, their offense can be pretty decent. Texas A&M's got their quarterback back. I want to see one more week before I start laying big numbers on the road. No play for us in this one. But if we had to, we'd go back to the A&M well in that one there. All right, LSU, Arkansas, 7 o'clock Eastern time. Game at Arkansas here. LSU coming off a monster win against Ole Miss. Oh, my God. How many times does Ole Miss have to shoot itself in the foot already? 2 games this season against Kentucky and LSU. Both should have been easy wins, and both they lose. This is why Lane Kiffin, they still have an outside chance, I think, to make the college football playoff as they watch other teams lose all over the place. But come on, Lane. Seriously, dude? We can't figure out how to win that game? No, they couldn't. Now, this is I think is a flat spot here for LSU, and they got to travel to go to Arkansas. Arkansas is circling this game. This is a big game from Arkansas. We like the Razorbacks in this one. We'll take we got it at 2.5. We'll take the points. Arkansas plus 0.5 in the first quarter, 1.5 in the first half, and plus 2.5 for the game. Ball State, Vanderbilt. I'm going to give credit to Vanderbilt right now. Huge win against Alabama, and they did not have a flat spot the next week. It rarely happens. Great job, Vandy. Now you get rewarded with Ball State. And they are no good. And you're a 24.5 point favorite. When the hell has Vanderbilt ever been a 24.5 point favorite, even if they were playing Sisters of the Poor? Look at Vanderbilt go. Not only do they have a fantastic baseball team, now the football team can hang their head proud. No play first in this one, but if we were going to, we'd hop all over that Vandy train. I just think 24.5 is a lot of points. You know, even if they're playing a high school team, hell, that's a lot of points. All right, Arkansas State, Southern Miss, also that 7 Eastern time window. Southern Miss kind of showed you again for the last multiple weeks that they're just, you just fade them every week. Are we gonna get stung fading them every week? Probably once by the end of the season, but we're gonna make a lot of money in the process. So Arkansas State, minus 2.5 first quarter, 3.5 first half, and minus 6.5 for the game. Then the game of the day, 7:30 Eastern time. Let's get this thing riled up. Georgia travels to Austin, Texas. So let's be honest, Quinn Ewers looked like doggy doo-doo in the first quarter against Oklahoma. Second quarter got better, and third quarter kind of took over. When he played Michigan earlier in the season, they kind of dominated from start to finish. Georgia came back on Bama, but I'm going to tell you right now, Texas's defense is better than Bama's. So if they get behind early in that game like that, they're not coming back like that. Secondary's better. Texas has got weapons all around. Here's the even better part. Let's say Quinn Ewers got hurt in a game. Oh, I'm sorry. You got to bring in Arch Manning. That's a problem to have, right? Texas has looked really, really, really good. Georgia, barely got by Kentucky, lost to Alabama, barely got by Mississippi State. They are struggling to find answers. Number one reason, first of all, their run defense to the edges is not as strong, definitely as it's been, but their run game's not as good as it's been either. Carson Beck's having to launch the ball all over the yard. That plays into Texas' hands here as well. This line was basically 3.5. It's been as high as 5.5. But our third biggest bet of the weekend is going to be Texas, minus 0.5 first quarter, minus 2.5 first half, minus 3.5 for the game. One more time, Texas minus 0.5 first quarter, 2.5 first half, 3.5 for the game. Hook 'em horns. All right, next game up, UCF, Iowa State, alma mater for this host here. State coming off a big win against West Virginia. I understand they were a favorite in that game. That is normally a game where Iowa State lays an egg. Matt Campbell has these dudes ready to pounce. Only concern I have for Iowa State this weekend, stopping the UCF rush game. Now, lately, everybody's been able to keep them in check. So as long as that continues, we love what we're seeing here, and we're going to play our beloved alma mater Cyclones. Give us Iowa State, minus 3.5 first quarter, 7 first half, and 13.5 for the game. Next game up, Kansas State, West Virginia. K-State on the road's been a little bit of a question mark. They didn't cover against Colorado. They got their ass handed to them by BYU. When they're at home, man, do they look like a totally different team or what? They're a 3-point favorite headed on the road with West Virginia. They make me nervous on the road. They didn't cover at Tulane either. I don't know who's going to win the game. I think West Virginia's got chances here. They're going to need to score some points, though. K-State's not going to come in and score 17, and you're going to expect to win. Total's at 55.5 here. Let's just play. If we're not in this game, but if we were going to play it, over would be the way we go. 7:30 Eastern time. Iowa, East Lansing, Michigan State. Does Iowa all of a sudden start scoring now? Total's at 39.5 in this one. Iowa, like I said, around 5-point favorite. Iowa's actually put up some points. And if that's the case, how do you not like Iowa? Now, the defense not as dominant as it has been. but I don't think it has to be as much. But Iowa only laying 5 here against Michigan State. We're in. Iowa -0.5 first quarter. Iowa -3 in the first half. Iowa -5 for the game. Next game up, 7:30 Eastern time as well. North Texas and Memphis. Memphis 11-point home favorite against North Texas. 66.5 total currently in this game. Did everybody watch Memphis last week in that under game that went like so far under? I mean, they needed to play an entire another game and they still wouldn't have got to the total. I understand North Texas scores points, but the Memphis defense has played awesome. So if you expect Memphis to win here, even if they score 35, which is definitely a possibility here, North Texas is not scoring 30 against that defense. So how the hell do you not play the under? We love this play as well. Memphis, North Texas, and it's went down because it wasn't 67.5, but under 14.5 first quarter, under 34.5 first half, and under 67.5 for the game. Kentucky and Florida. Graham Mertz out, probably the best thing that ever happened to Florida Gators football. Kentucky can't score. This game's got ugliness written all over it. It really does. I mean, this game could be, 16-13 or something? Bunch of field goals, 1 touchdown apiece. Florida at home getting 2. I can't lay 2 with Kentucky against anybody just because I don't know how much they're going to score. Total at 42.5. We don't have a play in this one. We still might add one here because that under at 42.5 just keeps calling our name to play another underplay there on that one because both those offenses, woof. Okay, a lot of fun stuff, right? Talking about them. All right, next game up, Colorado State and Air Force. Let's see. Colorado State's been decently covered last week. 7-point favorite, Air Force. Air Force has been god-awful. No play for us in this one, but we would play the 7-point home away favorite in Colorado State if we were playing in that one. Next game up, 8 o'clock Eastern time as well. SMU going to Stanford. So Stanford played the game of their life against Syracuse so far this year. SMU, besides for the first couple games, new quarterback, he's dynamic. They're a 16-point road favorite here. That's a big number going on the road with a youngster at QB. Understand he's dynamic. 53.5 total. No play for us in this one, but we would lean to SMU. 10 o'clock Eastern time. UNLV, Oregon State at Corvallis. UNLV 7-point favorite. Offense looks fantastic for UNLV. Last few weeks, the defense has definitely let them down and got them their first loss this season. Oregon State can't keep up score-wise, I don't think, with UNLV. But the total's at 60.5, and they're getting 7 at home. No play for us in this particular game, but we would lean to the over in this one because UNLV seems to like to give them up and score them all at the same time. And final game on the board, 10:30 Eastern time, TCU against the Utah Utes. Utah, 4-point home favorite. So they come off the disappointing loss against Arizona. Cam Rising comes back. Now he's out for the season again. And since he didn't play 4 games, anyone want to bet he's going to medically redshirt? So we can see Cam Rising back for his 300th year of college eligibility. He's older than freaking Tom Brady. Come on. 49.5 total. So we're going to see Zach Wilson's brother at the helm for Utah. And offensively, they have completely just fallen apart when he's been behind the helm. Now, TCU is going to give them a little help here. They're not fantastic offensively. They're not fantastic defensively. Utah will hopefully be able to control the line. They could not control the line against Arizona State. Scatterboo kicked their ass. That is one of the only times I've ever seen Dillingham team, a Utah team like that get their butt handed to them on an offensive or defensive line. But it happened. I don't expect it to happen here. We don't have a play in the game, but if we did, we'd have to lean the 4 with Utah and under 49.5 in that one. All right, so we just went through a ton of plays. How do we get a chance to take a look at all those? No problem. We've got them posted in multiple spots online. TikTok, YouTube, on our channel pages, as well at the end of every episode on YouTube. Docs.google.com/spreadsheet. Bunch of other stuff behind it. Click on that link. Go to Football 24-25 tab. Scroll down, College Football, Week 8. You'll already see some results from the Tuesday through Friday games as well. You'll be able to see all of the bets that we made, what juice we got those at, how many units we wagered, also what book we placed them at, and all that kind of fun stuff. We've been on a rock and rolling, folks. I'm just telling you, like, college football has been very, very, very good to us. Now, this week started off a little slow. That's all right. Not concerned. We have, like I said, we've got 3 monster bets for the weekend. So if we take care of 1, 2 of those, I'm sure it's going to be a profitable weekend without blinking an eye again with college football. So like I said, check those out on the Google Sheets. If you like the content that you're seeing, just hit follow or subscribe depending on the social media platform you're watching us on, and then turn on those notifications for that social media platform. That way you get a notification sent to your phone or device to let you know we dropped a new episode of bets, and we get those out in plenty of time for you. So that way you can match them up with what you love as well. Go to that betting app, betting window, and let's make some dollars. Also, private Discord channel is available where you get everything early before line moves, before juice moves. If you guys listen to this episode, almost every game that we're on, there was some sort of line movement or juice movement. Don't you want to be on the right side of it? Don't you want to be ahead of the curve? Don't you want to save money on the juice? Also, we're cheaper than Netflix. I mean, seriously? We're not charging $100 a month for picks. Anywhere between $6 and $25. And you're supporting the show and keeping us coming on. And we're on live daily with TikTok as well. So if you got live questions, it's better than the radio show because we'll actually take every one of your dang questions. Now, if they're inappropriate, we ain't playing it. But we will take every one of your questions and answer the best we can on those as well. So make sure you check out private Discord. You subscribe through TikTok, and then we'll get you all the Discord information you need as well. So you can get in and check that out. Also, we have tons of promo bonus bets to give away from our partners to you. We're available in 49 out of 50 states. The only one we're not in is Nevada. Sorry about that to all Nevadians. Online casinos, sports books, fantasy sites, all that kind of fun stuff. So if you're in a state that doesn't allow sports books, they might allow fantasy sites where you can still bet player props and things, still have exciting stuff happen to you for the weekend. So make sure you check that out. It's also the same couple spots online, TikTok and YouTube channel pages. It's that's bit.ly/sportsbets for free, -BH. Click on that link. It'll automatically default the state that you're in and show what we got available for you. Might as well take advantage of their money rather than just playing on all yours. We do appreciate everybody's support as always, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.